Reset button.
Well-trimmed beards for being one of the most poorest men living in the desert ever.
Yeah, and like, of course, you know, he turned water into wine, but obviously he turned something into conditioner because his hair was pretty nice too.
Yeah.
Like legit, it was pretty fucking nice. It was always pampered and pristine. Even when he went into Mad Jesus mode and like he tore apart that place. Like that's probably my favorite story in the Bible, by the way, when Jesus just loses his shit. It's probably really pampered then. It didn't, not a hair out of place.
Yeah. And they were probably like, "Oh my God, look how beautiful he is while he does this." Like, it's like the original metal rocker now at this point. Like that man is beautiful.
And the whole time he's flipping over tables, it's just going in slow motion as they're like, the hair moves across.
Yeah.
As he flips a table and coins go falling over.
It's like an anchor man.
They're like, you know what? We're gonna crucify him, but God damn, he's got some good hair.
This guy's got it way too big. He looks way too beautiful. We got to get rid of him.
Man, it's a shame to waste a mane like that, but get the nails. Fuck. Where are we right now?
I don't know. I was about to say, I think, if you look at the Last Supper picture, Judas doesn't look too bad either. So, like, was that what it was? Like, damn, I mean, I don't look as good.
I think Jesus was turning pebbles into hair, skin, and nail pills for, like, all the disciples. You know?
Oh,
something was going on. I mean, well, you got to admit, back then, if you're hanging out, if Jesus was like in your clique, you're gonna look pretty good. He's not gonna like make you like look unhygienic.
Whoa! No!
Like you're gonna get some afterglow just standing next to the man. It's the Son of God, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, you know? but remember, Jesus isn't in your clique. You're in his clique. that was the whole like point of it.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Big dog, the big dog. So.
I'm the son of fucking God, man.
Get behind me. Like, stand back. I got
this. Just get the fuck behind me. You're in my clique, bitch. That's why Judas was like, dude, I started this band.
And how do we pay him back? We make terrible fucking NES games, Wisdom Tree games. They weren't even legit NES games.
At that point in time, like, were people like using like the curse word, like, God damn it?
What was
like has that come around? Like, I wonder what his reaction would be like if one of the disciples like fell and like stubbed their foot and they're like, God damn it! He's like, what the fuck did you say?
Who knows? Jesus probably came up with that. Jesus probably came up with that. That was him bitching to his dad.
God damn it! Why can't I ever do what I want to do? And then somebody
just turn around and he'd be like, Moses, you need to explain to me right the hell now how I caused you to trip.
It was a bastardization of the word God and damn it, and it was silly. They like, what was the original word? Grass damn it? Like, what would they say before God damn it? That's the ultimate question, I guess.
I think God damn it's been around for thousands of years, even before like
they probably say like Zeus damn it or something.
Yeah, Zeus damn it. Well, they probably even say God damn it. Like they still say it. They don't have to like specify the God like like hermaphrodites damn it like. I'm not getting laid tonight. Damn it, hermaphrodites.
Well, God damn it. It's episode 9 of the Reset Button. We are here with Tannen as always. What's going on, man? Welcome back. How are you doing? How was your week?
My week was good. Good solid work week. I actually have the next few days off, so I'm feeling pretty energized about that. Got a lot of good gaming in my evenings, actually. A good few games. Played a lot of those games that were on the flash sale.
I did get Skullgirls, and I've been waiting to see if you've been playing it. I did pick up Skullgirls.
Yeah, and then every time I play it, you're not playing it. What the fuck is up with that? Like, I'll be playing...
Your thumbs aren't broken? Send me a text. Say, I'm playing Skullgirls.
maybe my fingers are broken. Maybe I broke my fingers for 5 seconds.
I mean, we've off air been on the phone for like 40 minutes. I'm sure you would have told me if you broke your fingers.
Yeah. Oh, terribly, in a flight accident.
Well, there he is. It's not an accident. A guest this week, Tannen. We have a guest. Finally, I've known this fucking guy for almost 2 years. One of like my OG first people I like started talking to on Twitter. He's been like there every step of the way for Hibiki TMD and with his channel. Like we kind of came up together in a way from the streets, hood style, 109. But yes, this week, Brian Rawson, aka the King of Retro, 8-Byte Brian, whatever you want to call him. Welcome to the reset button and welcome to Hibiki TMD, my man. How are you doing? What's going on?
I am doing great, Travis, and thank you and Tannen for having me on. It's definitely great to be here. I'm just doing my thing as always. Just every week I put out my my toy video. Usually within a course of a month, I have my own podcast that I do myself. I do the 8-Byte podcast. I have a comic book review that I do. I do a flea market wrap-up video at the end of the month. I've also got some other things in the works where I'm working on my Happy Handhelds series that I want to start putting out soon. And then, at this point, I think I've done close to 60 Toy Review Thursday videos. So come hell or high water, I put it out whether I'm exhausted or whether I want to or not every single week.
Nice.
Have you ever done the Technodrome in a toy video?
I would like to. I just don't have a Technodrome. That's a little bit out of my price range.
Yeah, I bet. I wish, man, if I still had all that stuff.
One-bedroom apartment, I don't really have too much space left. I'd have to guesstimate off the top of my head. I have right now between, I'd say, 3,500 to 5,000 different individual toys.
That is pretty impressive, I gotta admit.
Can I just come over to your apartment and hang out for 48 hours or pretend to be a kid again?
Anytime, man. You'd be surprised how many requests I get from friends when they see photos of stuff that I put up from my room.
Well, yeah, guys, if you get a chance,
awesome.
I definitely recommend checking out Brian's channel. It's one of my favorite channels on YouTube. His channel's actually brought back memories of toys I completely forgot about. And I've learned a lot of new stuff I didn't know from watching your stuff, man. So keep up the good work. And I have seen photos of your toy collection. It is insane. It's, wow. It's pretty stellar. But real quick, Brian, where can everyone find you at on Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff?
On Twitter, you can find me at 8-Byte Brian or just search King of Retro. If you're looking on YouTube, you can either look under King of Retro, which was kind of my old channel banner until I flipped it over to 8-Byte Brian or 8-Byte Brian. And you can search for me on Facebook, also at King of Retro, to find the King of Retro homepage.
Very good. I just consider you the man of a million monikers, so I just throw it all in.
I got 6 hats I'm wearing at any one time.
Yeah. That's a lot of hats. Tannen and I are also on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at the Hibiki TMD. Tannen at Tannen's Bum. You get the reference. It was clever. I like what you did with it, Tannen. 9 episodes in, I'm still bringing up your reference. So, all that good stuff aside, Tannen, you said you got a lot of good gaming in this week. A huge game dropped this week. Right off the bat, I know you rented it. I have not played it. I'm jealous. I've heard nothing but good things. I don't know, Brian, if you played it. I don't even know if you have PS4. I don't think you do. But Tannen, Resident Evil 7 has come. It's dropped. You have played it. What are your initial thoughts coming away from what you've played so far?
Oh my God, Resident Evil 7. Well, let me tell you. So the thing of it is, I did play the demo, of course, before it came out, and now that I got my hands on the actual game, it's a little bit different from the demo.
Yeah,
way different. The demo just kind of gave you the general idea of what it was going to be like to have a point of view Resident Evil game. And going into it like that, the game, I'm not going to throw in too many spoilers, it does start out, it's kind of weird, and you're kind of already trying to figure out, because this does tie in with other Resident Evil games, what game does this tie into, as you're watching the intro video. I'm already thinking, I'm not too far into it, but I'm already thinking that it definitely ties in with Resident Evil Revelations, the first one, how it took place on a ship in a way. Oracle. Other than that, with that being said, to draw it in, I'm having a lot of elements that it really kind of gives you Alien Isolation kind of feel. I feel like they really drew from that with this one. There is a lot of running and hiding. Your enemies are unstoppable, at least at this point they are. This weird...
How far are you into the game?
I played it for, I think, about 3 hours. We sat down and played it, and that haunted noise in the background. We sat down and played it like when I rented it. It took a while to get into it. The intro to it is definitely a little bit prolonged. They definitely want you to get used to your feel of being in more of a point of view aspect of a Resident Evil game. But then once you get into it and you actually get to the meat of it, you are back into a traditional Resident Evil game. There is elements definitely that throw from the original. As far as having to go and save, having to keep track of your ammo, and switching your weapons a good bit. I'm sorry that I'm stuttering a lot. My dog is being an absolute bitch.
It's okay.
Right now.
I've asked a lot of people. I've tried to get as many different opinions on this as I can. So I've asked a lot of people that have picked it up what they thought. And I think one of my biggest worries was that you and I have talked about countless times. It was going to stray too much and not maybe feel like a Resident Evil game. It's going to go more psychological.
And that's not true. And that's not true at all.
That's what I'm saying. Like people are like, man, this game, don't go into it like that, because it definitely
no. It went back. It's like they took this new element of point of view, right, and made it a more traditional Resident Evil game. Actually, I did run into a little bit of a hiccup last night. I got fairly far, and if you remember back in the original Resident Evil, and luckily with this you don't have limited saves. You remember in the original one you did. You had to have that ribbon on you to be able to put into the typewriter. This one you don't. So not utilizing that is actually a big screw up.
Is it on the fly saving?
The time to go back.
Like quick save anywhere?
No. You have to go back to a room. You have to find a tape recorder in certain rooms.
So it's the same thing, just replace it with another object as the typewriter.
Yeah, replace it with another object, but you don't need tapes to save. You can save as many times as you want. It's still really just your own laziness to not go back.
That's a big part of Resident Evil, though. The save points too, planning out when you need to do that, and you know what I mean. So that's in a way, as a purist, that's good.
But it is, and also my big hiccup was I'm running into a lot of enemies at this one point, and I had been saving up ammo, but I was getting really good with using my knife combat, and I got cocky, and I decided I'm going to just use my knife. I want to save up my ammo because God knows what's going to happen to me here after a while. I mean, this is survival horror. And so going to use my knife, and of course, I went in too big over my head. I charged at an enemy. I was just kind of in fuck you mode, I got this. And no,
in the water,
died. And, basically wasted 30 minutes of my time. I know exactly what I need to do to get to where I was. I'll be quicker about it than 30 minutes. What took me 30 minutes will probably take me 12. However, though...
that's how you know it's Resident Evil, my friend.
Yeah, exactly. It went back down to that kind of a route. The combat's great. I do like the point of view stuff. I mean, I always love holding a gun and being able to I'm a pretty good shot, I feel like, and I'm really good at conserving ammo. I should have used my gun in that situation. Instead I didn't. But as far as all of that stuff goes, when it comes down to the end of the day, so far from what I'm feeling with it, now this is 3 hours into the game, by the way. I would be giving a completely different review had I not played this far into it. But so far, this is a traditional Resident Evil game, but with a point of view perspective. The graphics are absolutely awesome. I mean, just the way that things glisten off of the wall. Sometimes, like, I could even see playing it in VR. You could not, substantiate reality from what isn't really there. I mean, everything is animated very well.
That's got to be down the road.
But the virtual reality stuff with Resident Evil 7?
With anything Resident Evil branded, that's inevitable.
But still, like, the way that they're doing it right now, it is exactly what I would have wanted. There was this one guy that did come into the shop the other day. It was funny, and I heard his little review, and he was like, I played for 20 minutes, and, I was like, well, this stupid Texas Chainsaw ripoff, whatever, and I took it back to the red box. And I'm like, well, you didn't even give it a chance, first off, and I was like, and second off, like, who cares if that is kind of an idea that they took from? Because they did maybe borrow from that a little bit, but they turned it into something really good, and I'm really wondering what is up with the family. I want to know what is up with these characters. I want to know what is up with these missing people. I really want to learn more about this storyline. Like, I'm intrigued.
That has been, like, one of the across-the-board complaints I have heard. It has that Devil's Rejects, Texas Chainsaw Massacre light type feel with that part of the story. Then
they didn't play it to the end, and they're not playing it far enough. Like,
that's what I'm thinking up the family too. These are also people that just pop the top.
I'm going through. Yeah, I'm going through the house. I'm picking up family photos. I'm picking up journal entries. Like, I am doing it like a Resident Evil game and reading everything that I can, every file that I can find, everything that I can learn. And the thing is what I'm learning is they were a legitimate family before whatever the fuck came to their house. So, like, this is what intrigues me even more. What made them like this, and what makes them be these monsters that I have to face.
Yeah.
And that's what is making it more and more of a Resident Evil game. Because let's face it, like, that's just what always intrigued you. Usually, these little stories, these little background stories that you learned. So far, it's a really good game.
Would you recommend it so far? I'm guessing. Yes, you would.
I would, but, I might tell you a different story. If I play it tomorrow, I have off all day tomorrow. If I beat it tomorrow, I might say, wait till it drops in price.
Well, episode 10 next week, we'll get your other take on it after spending more time with it. Brian, do you have a lot of fond memories with the Resident Evil franchise? Are you into the series? Have you never really got into it? And also, what's, like, the latest entry you've ever played in it?
Well, I've always been a pretty big Resident Evil fan myself. Not as big as some people are who are, you have your really diehard fanatics for it. But I remember playing the first one before the director's cut on the PS1. And even with those really, like, muddled, kind of crappy graphics, like, back then, like, that was scary. Like, going down a hallway and a, zombie coming and, like, biting your neck, and, like, you have that perspective to where, like, you can't escape the room, and like, never knowing, like, when the little loading screen popped up, like, what's going to happen after that loaded. Like, that's the first time I ever remember playing a game that actually, scared me to any extent at all. So, that's always, something that I liked from that. I liked the director's cut a lot. That's my favorite version of the original one.
That probably is the best one. Sorry, not just.
No problem. Resident Evil 2, I'd say, is my second. I didn't play 3. I did play 4, never beat it. I played Resident Evil 0. That was okay. I have 5, never beat it. I just never got the time to really invest into it. I played 6, which I personally thought was an abomination. And
you're not alone.
Then I saw 7, which looked, 7 looks good. I didn't really think about it as far as the Texas Chainsaw Massacre element to it, but I really like the psychological element. It reminds me a lot of, like, the Fear games, where you have, like, that girl that, like, gets into your brain and like just messes with the whole environment around you, like where you see the bugs swarming all over the door and that crazy parasite thing come alive off the ceiling. And I was like, wow, like that's really cool. Like the graphics have taken it to a point to where that is like that is scary as fuck. Like you know, and I would be very interested in playing it and trying it out. Like I said before, I wasn't a really big fan of Resident Evil 6. I did play it, I did beat it, but I mean, hell, that's not an accomplishment. You can take a person with 2 arms tied behind their back, and you can beat Resident Evil 6 with your nose. It's just, hit a button at the certain time and
timing. Just do it.
Yeah,
it's fucking. It was that generation's what's his face, Dragon's Lair, basically. In a way.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or like God of War or something, and it was just terrible. It had some of the elements, but it didn't feel right. The story didn't make any sense with like the gas like being released in China and some other version of Wesker, and
I still say
like, you really couldn't control your running. You couldn't shoot when you were running, and it was just a whole muddled pile of nonsense.
That's a big thing I wanted to point it out in this one. Oh my God, guys, it's revolutionary. You can walk and shoot at the same time.
Holy shit! The moon and the stars have aligned, and oh my God,
it is really a good game, Brian. Like the elements that you were talking about that you like from the originals, it's there, and they definitely put it in there even more. I would highly recommend this game to you personally, because I kind of went in the same way though. Like, just wow, it's a new take. Like, let's just go ahead. Yeah, I was cautionary, but I wasn't pessimistic about it either.
Right.
And the kid that I had talked to, like, his favorite one was Resident Evil 5. So, like, right away, like, it's just like, well, you don't.
You must have had a sibling to play it with him all the time, then.
Right, that's what I'm kind of thinking. Because I was like, well, then how did you get through the cave by yourself? While, like, your AI was just pointing the flashlight all around, not pointing it towards your enemy.
Does 5, for what it's worth, have some of the worst AI ever in a co-op experience like that?
I would rather play with Natalia from
What did you think of Army of Two's AI? The original one. That was pretty lackluster also. It reminded me of that in a way. I guess it was just that era, you know what I mean?
That game was definitely... Army of Two was supposed to be co-op no matter what, though. Like, if you went into that alone, I don't know why you don't have a friend. You don't have one friend on the fucking planet.
They should have promoted...
They can't play with you.
They should have shoved that down your throats more when promoting 5. Hey, that's, you need a buddy type gimmick to promote it, basically. But
they should have called it Resident Evil 5. They should have called it, like, Resident Evil, like, I don't know, like, Duo-Opsy
Raccoon City Warriors or Team Raccoon or something. I don't fucking know. Whatever.
Well, it didn't take place in Raccoon City, but just, just something else. They should have called it something. It didn't feel like Resident Evil 5.
But it
felt like a totally different game.
Their base established. They're from Raccoon City, so they're carrying the name to other places, to islands,
that is
fucking
true.
Deserts and shit. Brian, are you a big fan of the whole survival horror genre in general, like the Silent Hills and all that good stuff?
Oh yeah. Silent Hills, I haven't. I really haven't played too many beyond like the first original 2, but I liked those a lot when they came out.
So you played the best 2, pretty much.
Yeah. And then like stuff like The Last of Us and like the whole the Telltale Games Walking Dead series I played and really liked that. The Fear series, like I said before, I like that series a lot, which is a really unpopular series in the horror survival genre, which a lot of people don't give enough of a chance because it's kind of like looked at as like the bargain basement, like clearance bin horror game that just like rips off of Resident Evil and other games, but it's actually really good. The plot's very very solid. Dead Island, if you can call it that. I mean, sorta, kind of. It's not really the same thing, but almost is. That's
I
fun.
would say it is. I would say there's
that was
enough,
an absolute gore fest, though.
That game is phenomenal. I've been playing the remastered versions. I really have always loved Dead Island. I think those get a bad rap for people that shit them. I think people just split hairs when they bitch about those games because of the standard bearer. Like to compare it to like the gold standard in that genre. That's what happens to games like that, and it's not fair. But that's the nature of the beast.
Yeah, but that is one of the absolute bloodiest games I think I've ever played.
Oh yeah, definitely
in my life. Like
even did you play the retro one? Did you play the
after
retro
you cut
Revenge?
After you cut someone's head off, and like you can walk back a few seconds later, and there's still blood coming out of their neck, and it's like, wow, you got to give the programmer some credit. Like they programmed that to keep going for that long, so that's almost a little scary too, because that means somebody might be not so right in the head. They're like, program it to have blood come out of it. Like, yeah, I just wanted to have blood coming out for 5 seconds longer than this guy's. They're like, oh, okay, calm down. That's good. That's good. Don't piss off Jim.
It's
like
that one guy.
There's something wrong with him.
Yeah. It's that guy that eats like fucking microwave mac and cheese every day, and he's got serious parent issues, and that developer guy. But he makes the games better at the end of the day. Speaking of making stuff better and crazy developers, people getting together, Tannen, Square is in the news today with 2 big announcements. What's going on with that ordeal?
I really don't know. I just think it was it was released. This giant cock tease, if you will. A giant probably cost about $1 million to make cock tease. That lasted about 5 minutes. It wasn't a trailer for a specific game. It was just an announcement that, hey, we're going to be making games. Square Enix, Ubisoft, a couple other companies. Yeah, it was definitely a really intense, like 8th grade level dry hump.
Yep, for 5.
Going into that with this, the trailer does look awesome. Like I watch it. I mean, there's like and there, I don't know what it was, but it was like what heroes will become, and then like like there's this hand.
17.
Yeah, but there's this hand also. Like it's definitely Iron Man's hand. It's like clicking on and off, like trying to turn on. Just this kind of shit. Yeah, I mean, you know me. I'm not a huge Marvel fan, so like
me
as I'm watching, I was like. Yeah, I know I'm a DC guy, but like this is just like, okay, so Disney decided to say, hey guys, let's make some really cool games. We're gonna put it in your realm. Come up with a really good trailer, maybe we'll buy it. And they were probably like, oh my god, cool, like I like this trailer. Let's go ahead and publish it. Like I like what you guys are doing here with this computer animation shit. So that's the way I felt about it. Like,
Disney's in bed with Marvel anyway, so it totally makes sense, with Kingdom Hearts.
Disney owns Marvel.
Yeah.
They're still in bed with it. Disney owns it.
Well, they're with each other.
So it looked cool, but so there's this potential. There is this potential, I guess, that it looks like some really dark shit will go down. Like I don't know if they're going to be like, hey, there's DC games, there's Arkham games. We're kind of dark. Let us whip out our dick now. It's kind of what I got from it.
Soon.
Yeah, but it was just a good announcement of a merger. I feel like a really damn good announcement of a merger. It did make me excited as I saw it because I was just like, I'm more of a DC guy, but I still like Marvel. Like I like my Iron Man. Like I'm down with Thor. It's cool.
Yeah, I'm down. I was always the weirdest one though out of all of us. Like in our group of friends, I was an Image guy. Like fucking. Freak Force, Savage Dragon, because our friend Joe got me into Image, and once I discovered that, because they're former DC writers, former Marvel writers,
yeah,
But
I would love it if they made a Savage Dragon video game and they did it right. Fuck a movie, a movie entirely. But if they did a Savage Dragon game,
I have a feeling if they did that, it would
awesome.
come out like maybe like the Deadpool game, or maybe it will come out like the Fists of the North Star game for 360, not the NES one. Which got like 6 out of 10, 7 out. I don't think it would be a great game if it came, but it would be cool to see that game, and I would like it. I would try so hard to like it. Trust me. Brian, I know you're a big comic guy too. You also do like comic video reviews and stuff, if I'm right.
Yes, I do. I do like one a month, and they're pretty random. I've done stuff from like the Death of Superman to like the Golden Age, Silver Age, just kind of whatever catches my fancy, and you know, try to educate people on like you know, a lot of the origins of a lot of characters and stuff, like the Spectre and like Doctor Strange, because I've never been a big fan recently of like the New 52 and like DC 1 million universe, because I think that they've really yeah, it's just it's like people are reading storylines and like characters, but you know, I don't know, it's like they don't really realize like where it comes from. Like you look at like Doctor Strange, like late Silver Age going into like the Bronze Age, and he's like, you know, the pretty much the most powerful, you know, magic user in like the Marvel universe, aside from like, you know, Dr. Fate, who could, you know, technically he could really give Superman a run for his money if he really wanted to. I mean, to the point where if he wouldn't be able to kill him, he could at least very, very, very heavily incapacitate him. So, you know, I think
Dragon
it's cool
could, for that matter, you know, honestly.
That's a line I'm not really very familiar with, because I didn't read a lot of Image stuff growing up. That's kind of
Brian,
where
would you say, not to put you on the spot, are you more of a Marvel or DC guy, or both? Like you like them both equally?
It's hard to say, but I think at the end of the day, I'm probably more of a DC guy, just because
story writing.
Well, no, because I'm Batman.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid answer. You can't beat that.
That's what does it for me, because I can't stand Superman. I think he's one of the most overwritten, ridiculous piles of crap to ever come out of somebody's ass. You know, so it's like, oh well, you know,
he's an invincible fucking alien. Like, he's an invincible alien. I mean, good God, like, this is old.
He didn't earn any of his powers. He just accidentally got dropped off at the right planet under the right sun, and
just like,
you know, it's just like now in like DC 1 million, he's like, you know, technically Superman never ages because of how much solar energy that he absorbs, and he's technically not, you know, affected by magic anymore. And technically, there's only one form of the purest kryptonite that can actually weaken him, and he's
if you think about it, like really, like honestly, Superman may be the laziest / most generic superhero ever, because it's just like, well, add this power. Oh, fuck it, add this. The perfect special. Like, really? You know, like.
I didn't know about the whole, like, one type of kryptonite shit. One reason why I love the Injustice comic line is because, you know, there is that kryptonite, and then there's that pill that fucking Batman creates, where it's just like, hey, we're just as strong as Superman now.
Yeah.
And that's what I loved about it. I was like, I mean, even Gordon gets to fucking kick Superman's ass. Like, you know, they're like, that's awesome. Like, oh shit, he just like took his ibuprofen, and he's like, fuck you. Like, Randy still has lung cancer, but you know what? Go fuck yourself.
Well, and, another character that I think that really a lot of people overlook a lot is like the Martian Manhunter. Like, even just at his basic, like basic power set, I mean, he could mop up the floor with Superman. Like, he could just like invade his mind, shut off his defenses, and just, you know, leave him for dead before he knew what happened.
He's like the Shang Tzu of fucking the DC line. I mean, he can adapt and turn into anybody. You know, like, that's he can be anybody that he wants to be, to try to mimic and manipulate an entire situation. And you're right. He is a totally underrated character. I've always felt that way about Martian Manhunter.
Didn't they try to push him for a while in like a feud with Superman as like a head honcho type storyline way back?
That was in some early like Justice League annual.
Like, he did give him a run for his money, I believe, in those issues. Like, they went at it. If I remember,
it was just a run for his money. Like, honestly, I think Martian Manhunter, you know, like, if he really wanted to, without even using as much fucking thought and strategy as Batman, could fucking take Superman down.
Well, I mean,
easily.
You could go so many guys. Silver Surfer, look at that, fucking right there. Galactus, does that count though? You know what I mean? Fucking, I don't know.
Gladiator would at least give him a good run for his money. You have Supreme, which I don't know if you guys may have read, since I believe that was an Image comic. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry, that was Valiant. I think that was Valiant.
Supreme. I'd have to look that up. I was confusing that with Wildcats for some reason when you said.
Oh God, not the W. I didn't hear that. I'll leave that alone.
Grifter. Remember when Grifter had his own line? Oh God, fuck.
I remember.
God. Do you have those action figures? Because I remember really wanting those as a kid, even though I didn't know a lot about the comics. They just look cool. I remember on the commercials.
No, yeah, because to me it was like, you know, even though I'm sure some of the storylines are kind of okay, it was like I saw. I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings here, but with a lot of stuff with Image, I just saw them like taking the best parts of like the X-Men and great stuff from Marvel. They're like, oh yeah, let's just, you know, kind of move this part here, move that there, and
well,
yeah,
they wrote for them though. They were the guys that helped contribute to that for years. That got fed up with the fucking big business bullshit that Marvel and shit was becoming, and you know, I mean, I guess in a way they get past. But I totally see what you're saying.
Hijack them.
I totally see what you're saying, though. I'm not by any means defending the 90s plethora of generic big tits and fucking spandex and everything after a while just blended together in the 90s to a point where it diminished the comic industry so much. Like, I don't know. But anyway, to move the train along, not to make it a full-on comic show, even though we can go so many directions.
You know, this episode could go on for about 5 hours, I feel like. This is great. I like it.
And that's why I'm so excited to have someone like Brian on, who's knowledgeable across the boards with all the nerdgasms we're all about. Ectoplasm. Shout out to Ectoplasm. But another newsworthy thing that came out this week, and I think it's worth mentioning, the Nintendo Switch Pro Controller what was released, and it's sold out in less than 30 minutes on Amazon. It's already out of stock. Surprise, surprise. Nintendo related. Anyway, it's $70, guys. I mean, you've both seen pictures of it on Facebook. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I tagged you guys and stuff like that. It looks nice, but there's a lot of shit to this. I know, Tannen, you have a lot to say about this. I will say, I'm not excited. I think it was a bold and brash fucking move from Nintendo to not support backwards compatibility. But all that aside, Tannen, I know you want to vent on this, so preach on, brother, man.
Oh my God, am I mad? Well, okay, here's one thing. Like, why can't I take my Wii U pad? You know, when I'm playing Mario Kart, you know, with Karen, why can't we have the TV on something else, especially if we have a Switch? And why can't I take my Wii U pad and sync it with that, and then I'm my own player? Why can't we do that? You know, I was kind of hoping that they would go with that it would integrate the Wii U pad a little bit, because, like, it doesn't work like the Switch. It's not like I can take this. I can't even take the Switch to my fucking bathroom. It doesn't work. The signal loses. The Wii U. That's what I'm talking. Yeah, the Wii U. So, like, why not have the backwards compatibility? Like, we've invested so much money into this system, and now you're just going to piss it all away. You know, it was great to have our Wii controllers that could be involved. If other people were over, oh, well, you know, we're playing Mario Kart. Sorry, guy. Here's the Wii mode.
Because, I mean, really, but realistically, why? Your answer to why? Because Nintendo's beginning to shit stuff.
I know why. I know why. Now, as I'm looking at this controller, it definitely looks comfy. I actually had to deal with a guy earlier that was bragging. Well, I had to deal with a guy earlier that was bragging about that he is getting one of the pre-orders on one of them. And when he asked me about it, I was like, I want to touch it first. I want to hold it first before I say whether or not I want to spend my money on this.
Let's call a spade, though. Honestly, this fucking controller, I'm looking at it right now. I've been looking at it a lot this week just to get my 2 cents on it. It's the Wii U Pro controller, which I have, Tannen. I don't know if you have it. Brian, I don't know if you have a Wii U.
I have it. No, I have 2 Wii U Pro controllers.
Yeah, it's that. And, like, the whole thing is padded. They're selling this for $70 because this supports motion control. That's what's overpricing it. At the end of the day, it's just a glorified padded fucking Wii U controller.
And also, wait.
I'm not even going to use the motion controls. You know what I mean?
I can't believe Nintendo's still trying to ride the motion control train to begin with.
And also, though, didn't look at the press, but does it rumble? I'm sorry, does it rumble? I like when my PS4 controllers rumble.
I would
I like when
assume
anything
at $70,
rumbles.
it rumbles. It makes you fucking
It
want
better
to do
fucking rumble
something.
it better rumble so damn much that I can hand it to my girlfriend and she can get off on it. That's how much I want it to rumble.
There's Tannen's
Like
pro
it's
tip of the
70
week.
fucking bucks.
There you have it.
But like, I'm just saying, like, fucking, like, are you fucking serious? Like, 70 goddamn dollars for the same fucking two things that I spent, like, what was it? Like, fucking, like, almost $50 on. Like, and not even a year ago. Like, that I spent that money on those controllers. You gotta be fucking kidding me.
If this is a sign of what's to come, though, with all the Switch peripherals and whatnot, it's not looking good. It's not looking good if you're looking to save a buck or two with backwards compatibility. And like I was mentioning earlier, yes, Nintendo's got to play catch up. Bad business making decisions have put them in a hole, and they're not going to be as generous this gen with backwards compatibility because they just can't. They'll lose their ass. They will lose their ass this time.
Yeah, you say you just can't, but Nintendo is a fucking juggernaut. They're not going to lose that much out of letting me use my fucking Wii pad. Let me use my Wii pad. Let me use my Wii pad. Let me hook my Switch up. Maybe I don't want to use my Switch controller. Maybe I want that to be like hooked up, you know, up on the TV charging, and I'm going to use my Wii U pad while that charges, so I can fucking go out hiking or whatever the fuck they said in the commercial I could do, and like let that shit charge.
This feels like it has gone on since we were all kids. Really, since the NES, SNES, where controllers have always been so expensive. If you don't want a third party, if you want the legit brand, I think this time though it's really to not include something like a headset or something to be so expensive. At least with the PS4, when they're overpriced, you get a little more bang for your buck. This time it's just like I said, so fresh and simple.
With the PS4, you get an earbud and a go fuck yourself, Mike.
You do. You get a go fuck yourself mic. You definitely have to buy a better mic, but you get something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Brian, what do you think all this nonsense with expensive ass controllers that can be more expensive than certain systems? Christ, $70, get a used system for something, I would think, cheaper than that. It's just ridiculous. And I know you're a purist, you're a retro gamer like us, and to see it evolve into such money-making big business, it's got to be a little bit heartbreaking, because it is for me as a retro gamer. Not going to lie.
It absolutely is. I think that Nintendo really hasn't come to grips with the reality that there are other competitors in the gaming market competing for the consumer's dollar. Like, they still think, you know, it's 1996 and that they're the big dogs in the market and that they're the innovators, because ever since really from the Super Nintendo, once they, evolved with like the N64 and the GameCube, you know, they always marketed it as like strange technology. You know, the N64 had that crazy controller and was the first system to do, you know, pure 64, you know, true 3D polygon graphics. The GameCube, I remember the commercials, you know, trying to make it look like some system,
had a handle.
You know, of the future. They had to be weird and use the crazy little mini discs, you know, instead of regular cheap CDs like, you know, like the Saturn and the Dreamcast and everything, you know,
it's
was at the time.
How much Nintendo tried to promote that it had a handle, but at the end of the day, nobody really gave a fuck. They did,
and like,
they still do. And like their retrospectives, looking back on the GameCube, like it had a handle. It was amazing. Like really. Anyway, sorry, bro.
With the no problem. You know, and with the Wii, you know, the one thing that they've actually really been able to get a good grip on, you know, doing with the motion control with that, you know, that did stick for a while, but I think overall, you know, 90% of, you know, gamers, with the exception of a few games, you know, it was a passing fancy that came and went. They didn't learn their lesson. They saw, you know, tablets were, you know, a big thing of the future. They incorporated that into their, you know, Wii U, and still went with, you know, motion controls. And here they are making the exact same mistake again with the Switch, you know, showing people milking virtual reality cows or whatever type of nonsense, you know, that they're doing, and, you know, making it more of a portable console than even a handheld console. And if they had learned anything from, you know, their sales trends and things, you know, in the past recently, look at how many copies of games, you know, like the Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, your online store. Look at how well those do. That tells you people want to play actual fucking games. They
wants to
don't want to
invest.
fool around with new different types of ridiculous technology. They want to play a game that has meat and blood and guts and story to it, and that's why, honestly, this is going to catch a lot of people off guard. I don't think that it's going to do poorly, but I think that the Breath of the Wild is going to be the poorest selling installment of the Zelda series that anyone's seen in a long time, because while it looks great, the graphics look great.
Here we go.
It shows Link, he's doing all this, interesting stuff where he's building like ice bridges, or he's like, setting traps and rolling a boulder down the hill against like these trolls.
It's Nintendo Skyrim.
He's doing all this interesting stuff, but it's also, that is a good point. It is kind of like it's like a Zelda Skyrim, where you have all these different caves that you can go into, and you can actually beat the game by going right to the end boss. Within like 40 minutes, you can actually beat Breath of the Wild, because there's no pattern that you have to do all the dungeons in.
And immersive, like the Western Elder Scrolls type feel is where they went.
And I think that that's kind of cool, because that's like, how the original Zelda is, where you can, play all the dungeons, in any order that you want. But I also think that with all the doing, it shows that how much meat is there to the storyline. Like, I remember when I played Skyrim, I ended up doing so many more back quests than I ever did actually finishing the damn story, because you're constantly getting bombarded with like, oh, hey, here's some bullshit, go grab this because I'm too old and frail to grab this.
Fallout with, I need my Stradivarius.
Right. And so that concerns me. Like, I'm glad that there's a lot of like quests and stuff for Zelda, but it's like, it looks so much like an anime now, and I'm like,
do you have that?
I don't mind Zelda evolving, but at what point does it stop being Zelda and start being something totally different?
That is a fucking good point.
That is the initial that is the initial thought I had when, like, a couple years ago, when we were getting tidbits of information. I had that fear that, like, don't change up the Zelda formula. Yes, every Zelda game's different, but at the end of the day, it felt like Zelda. Yes, I was really pessimistic initially, but I've come around from what I've seen. I don't know if it's gonna be a bad game. I really doubt it will. I think it'll be a good game. It's just gonna see how it plays out. Interesting how it appeals to because everyone's expecting something different. I think with this game, it's one of those types.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be a bad game at all. I just think that it's I don't know. You're gonna have your crowd of like your really, really much younger, like millennials that are like, 17, 18, 19 years old, that this is going to really, really appeal to, because it just
Ocarina
like the graphics
was like their Zelda NES, what I mean? Like for us would be.
Yeah, and also I think that the way that this Link is made, like, he looks like a teenager, and he's also very androgynous. Like, you almost can't tell if it's like a female protagonist or if it's a male. Like,
well, the demos I've seen right off the bat, you're straight up naked. When you emerge in the game. Spoiler alert, you're nudie.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. That's strange.
Tannen, I know Tannen. Like, I'm a Zelda fan, but like, Tannen's a diehard. I know Tannen's been super.
I'm about to weigh in. I've been a Zelda fan since the original. I mean, I was, the first one taught me how to read. That is literally how I learned how to read. I was 4 years old and learned how to read from that game. With that being said, I mean, you could even say, like, it has definitely gone uni over the years. The whole anime looking thing. When Wind Waker came out, I denounced Wind Waker. I did not buy a GameCube because of how Wind Waker looked. I was like, fuck that. I'd rather have a PS2 and play Grand Theft Auto 3 and shoot people than fucking experience this fucking cartoony looking piece of shit that I wasn't, because originally, like, we were promised this really real looking thing. We eventually had it in Twilight Princess, but we did not. Whenever Wind Waker came out, I was pissed when Wind Waker came out. I mean, I was very adamantly pissed. And then years later, I actually played it and enjoyed it. I actually ended up enjoying Wind Waker. which taught me a lesson. Don't ever judge a book by how the fuck it looks. I don't know, but with this one, it's not necessarily the length that's getting me or anything. I really feel like this title was meant to be a Wii U title. Hands down, it was developed to be a Wii U title. They are purposefully releasing this along with the Switch to promote the Switch, to boost sales.
With the release.
Yeah. It's smart,
but
it's not.
Because it is
I have coming to me in March. It's paid off in full. Fucking Wind Waker on Wii U. I'll be talking about.
I think it's
not Wind Waker. I'm sorry.
I think it's asinine dumb move. Personally,
but Breath of the Wild. I got ahead of my word. But Breath of the Wild on Wii U. I will not be playing Breath of the Wild on the Switch. I will be playing what it was originally developed for.
And I think you're like me, because we both prefer Twilight Princess on GameCube, but I think you and I are going to think it's going to be better on the Wii U.
Way beyond the fucking Wii. I tried to play it on the Wii. I have it on the Wii. Did not like it on the Wii. But when I played it on the GameCube when I originally bought it, fucking loved it. Fucking thought it was a great game. So, but when I played it on the Wii, I was just like, now, and this is one thing that I bitch about constantly, and I'm going to go ahead. Skyward Sword pissed me off beyond belief.
We won't even speak of that game.
I fucking hate Skyward Sword. Fucking hate that game. It's the only one in the series. I can't. I try. I try. I have tried. Yeah. Well, yeah, we are speaking of it, but I have tried. I have tried once a year for like the past 3 years to try to play that fucking game, to try to like it, and I don't. I just, at the end of the day, I'm finally deciding to be an adult. I'm not that kid that like got a shitty game for Christmas and I'm going to force myself to like it. No, fuck you. Skyward Sword sucks.
And I think and you see that with a lot of fucking games on the Wii. And I got to say, my least favorite Nintendo console ever is the Wii. It had so many titles that disappointed me. It had a gimmick I did not give two shits about, except Wii Sports when you're drunk. That's about it.
Oh, the Virtual Console. The Virtual Console for the Wii was awesome.
That was the only innovative, awesome breakthrough they had with the Wii. I love the Virtual Console. I did. I'm not going to hate. But other than that,
let's face it. Isn't it fun to play bowling with Mom and not have to go to the alley?
Well, yeah, I said that. But that was that is the only game with motion controls I can really tolerate. Like when they did that shit Donkey Kong was really good on the Wii. There are a few exceptions. The Wii does have some great titles. I just think it's my least favorite system because it just time and time again, it's let me down more than any other. I love the Wii U. It's one of my. I think it's the most underrated Nintendo system ever.
No. I think the most underrated Nintendo system is the GameCube.
No way, because now in 2017, people have come around and the GameCube gets so much love. It really does. Whenever it's brought up.
And GameCube's awesome. Here's the thing where the GameCube failed. If the GameCube could have gotten online and had like DVD an player. Online like
no DVD player.
Yeah. Well, it's not that. It's not the no DVD player, but if I could have gotten online with like the GameCube's version of certain like shooter games or whatever, and I could have gotten online with Time Splitters. Mm-hmm. That game would have that system would have been made. It even had that extension to get online with it, and we never fucking got it.
Yeah,
it could have gotten online.
It could have gotten the tail end of like all this shit, like the Dreamcast, like at the very end of its lifespan, it got all this cool shit.
Yeah, it was like let's get online, but it was just like, yeah, but I can't play Time Splitters. I can't play these first-person shooters that you guys have sold me. But like, hey, look at PS2. That's even fucking online. Like,
Yeah.
Like, but at the end of the day, though, hey, my PS2 failed on me. Like fucking people's Xboxes failed on them.
That GameCube,
but I still have my fucking GameCube. You could throw that thing down a thing of steps and it'll survive. It is the Fisher Price fucking tape recorder
at the apocalypse,
goddamn fucking video game
At
systems.
The apocalypse of the world, only cockroaches share in your GameCube shall remain fully intact.
Goddamn right. And it'll still work. It'll still work just perfectly. I fucking love the GameCube, but like that was what it was lacking. Was its online shit. We were told it was going to get online shit. Everybody was ready for the online shit. Online fucking Smash Brothers Melee. Can you fucking imagine?
Well.
And we were told that was going to happen.
At least we have that now.
Never did.
And you know what? The Wii U version of Smash is the best version of Smash. I said.
But here's where it failed, because instead of making it online, they came out with Smash Brothers on the Wii. But but before that, we were told in Nintendo fucking Power we were going to be able to play Smash Brothers Melee online, and they never delivered. It was just like the 64 with the fucking 64 disc drive, and I was told Earthbound 64 was going to be coming to my home.
The DD.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah. Oh man, and I've always been a fucking Earthbound fan.
Looking back on that though, I'm kind of glad it didn't come out on the 64 because I don't know. Look what they did to Castlevania on the 64. I don't know, man. I just had I have a bad feeling it wouldn't have been that fair.
Well, the screenshots looked fucking epic to me, and I loved Earthbound.
Brian, thank you for coming on the show. When we come back, it's our game of the week. You want to stick around for game of the week?
Definitely.
Our game of the week this week, Tannen. It is an old favorite of
Mario
Tannen's.
2.
Yeah, well, way to blow it. I was going to save it until we come back.
So,
yeah.
Oh, sorry, not to bring up the. I'm sorry. It's my fucking favorite Mario game on the NES.
It's a dirty
and Travis hates it.
It's a dirty old.
And we're going to get in a nice old argument about it.
We are. It's going to be a fun little argument. And by the way, thank you guys for joining me here on my birthday. We're recording this episode, so yeah.
Happy birthday, Travis! God damn it, I feel so bad.
Tannen forgot, but it's all good. It's the only reason I think I remember yours is because it's the day after Christmas or a week before. See, I don't even remember yours.
Dude, it's December 1st.
Oh, well, there you go. We're even.
Yeah, I'd say we are pretty even there. For some odd reason, I thought you were born in February, so whatever.
But to wrap up, before we go to break, the Nintendo guys, don't pay $70 for it. Just wait out. Do something else with your money. That is not worth it. Yeah, it looks
go
nice.
ahead and pre-order it. Give Nintendo some sales so they can make some actual good games and some shit. I don't know. Do what you want.
They're not going to do that with your money. Why would they do that?
Fucking, it's like a GoFundMe project at this point with Nintendo.
That's the last company that needs a GoFundMe. Yeah, when we come back, we have more Brian Rawson, we got more Tannen on the reset button. We'll be right back.
Hey, you dirty fucking pigs. Mike here from the Slam Pigs Podcast, reminding you once again to check us out on Twitter, whether it be the Slam Pigs Podcast, whether it be me at Mike the Slam Pig, or whether it be our sister show, The Reset Button. Check us out. Also, you can find us on Facebook at the Slam Pigs Podcast or The Reset Button. And as always, make sure you check us out as a whole on Hibiki TMD. Until we see you next time, oink oink.
Mick and Mac Global Gladiators.
I've heard of that. The only Genesis McDonald's game is that Ronald McDonald game, which isn't that bad, that I knew of.
Yeah, this one's that's an abomination. I don't recommend it at all.
I don't think it's that bad.
It is funny though, of all product placement games to bring up, fucking every time we say like, oh, a McDonald's game, it wasn't that bad. Like, you know,
it's because there's an arch for each eye to go into your soul, and you put subliminal shit into your head. That's the arches, man. Don't sleep on the arches. I'm telling you.
Yeah, you could play Avoid the Noid all you want, but at the end of the day, McDonald's really had it going on.
Yeah, Avoid the Noid sucked ass. That's a horrible game.
Didn't you review that game, Brian?
Yep, I did. Only because it's one of those games that you try to like. You know it sucks. You know you hate it, but you're thinking just this one fucking time, it's not gonna suck when I put it in and play it.
Like
Here's one thing, and I kind of want to figure out who developed the Noid game, because I kind of feel like the Noid, they like took that game and like they like went on to like make Rayman or something. They're like, we're gonna make something better out of this, just something out of the fucking graphics. Like, I don't know what it is, but yeah, way before. But the developers, you get these college interns that like, are just like, fuck yeah, we'll just program it for free.
Well, you should see the Famicom version. You should see the Famicom version of Yo Noid. It looks absolutely nothing like the American version. He still has the same type of costume, but he has like a little falcon that sits on his shoulder. And he has a sword, and it's like, what the hell? It's like, how does this translate? Like, this
Wow, it was an actual badass game. Like it was a good game.
Oh, I wouldn't go as far as to say
he was
badass,
a
but
pirate. What
it's
the fuck?
playable. It's decent. Well, he has like this black type of, like, you know how Robin used to have just like that black eye mask that went around his face.
Yeah.
Like the little character has that. He has like little kind of spiky, chunky anime hair. That's on a Famicom, so the graphics are what they are.
That's
and he has like
he took his hood off.
He has like the red kind of outfit, and then he has like a little bird that sits on his shoulder, and he has like a sword or something, and it's the Yo-Noid version that Japan got. I don't understand how that translated, but
was like, did he have a breadstick for a sword? Or is that another
guy? Very well made.
I'm thinking a Little Caesars guy had a breadstick for a sword, I think.
It's just like how like Japan had a much better version of the Back to the Future games than what we got.
Oh, the Super Nintendo one. Really? It was good. The Super Nintendo Back to the Future where you're on the hoverboard. You talking about, Tannen?
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was good, but is it great? Like I think we put it so high because of what it's compared to.
Compared to what we had, that fucking game is amazing. Like compared to what we had.
It's pretty fun, but I don't know if it's as great as people say it is.
Well, it's funny, for like any 8-bit or 16-bit games, like almost all of them, like gamers have such rose-tinted glasses that they just refuse to admit they're wearing. Like
that,
many
I
games.
disagree. That I agree to an extent, but you are an example of somebody I know that has an acquired taste because you hate Donkey Kong Country, if I'm correct. If I remember talking to you before.
Yeah, I hate it enough. Yeah, I won't say I flat out hate it, but I hate it enough.
Wow, I'm kind of shocked on that one.
I just it was a game that really, like, it sold more on its music and its graphics than anything original.
Oh man, all the things you went through and the weather changes and
I don't think it tried to be anything original though, as far as
bouncing
gameplay.
Around.
I think it just tried to be Donkey Kong Mario style, honestly.
It didn't, but it was like they were like, let's make a new Mario game, and they're like, nah, let's go ahead and just make a Donkey Kong themed game. I think at the end of the day,
Rare
if you would have taken those graphics and made it yeah, Rare did do it, but if you would have taken those graphics and made it a Mario game, that would have been a really good
just
Mario
like Super
game,
Mario RPG graphically, pretty much, if you think about it. Same sprite.
Yeah, actually, Super Mario RPG was the first one to have that whole 3D platform for a Mario game, and
I think
Sega did.
People go into looking at I'm sorry, Tannen.
Oh, I was just saying, you did have Sonic 3D on the fucking Genesis.
Yucky.
That
I don't care about flickies and collecting.
But no. But what I'm saying is that top-down shit, they were like trying to also compete with that. I feel like came out around the same time.
Isometric perspective, you mean?
Yeah, and they did try to like do that. I felt that whenever it came out, like because I had gotten Super Mario RPG when it came out, and then I had a friend he was a hardcore Genesis friend, and went to his house, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, you like Super Mario RPG? Like play this." And like I was like, "Dude, this isn't like what I'm talking about. Like."
Yeah,
you should play this game because it's pretty good. That was actually the first RPG that I actually beat. Because being 10 years old, for some odd reason I couldn't grasp Final Fantasy. I was 11 when I was finally like Final Fantasy 3 is fucking awesome, but that's also when I started, reading books. So, it definitely like had propelled me to be more like, wow, like, but he was just like, yeah, it looks just like Super Mario RPG, no, it doesn't. And this game sucks. Like, I'd rather play Sonic 2 right now. Like, can't we play Sonic 2 like we always do when I come to your house?
Yeah. That's the old adage, going to the beginning of time with any video game where people, that certain gamer that's all about the graphics, standard bear of fucking, what's the word I'm looking for? We're back! It's episode 9. We've been back. We're just officially saying we're back. Obviously, we're back with the man himself, Tannen, and Brian Rawson, King of Retro, 8 Byte Brian, whatever you want to call it, the man of a million monikers. Welcome back to the show, man. It is game of the week time, Brian, and this week I got with you a little earlier in the week, and I know you didn't need a lot of homework to do and a lot of time to spend with this, because it's Mario 2, the big white lie, Doki Doki Panic, basically, is what we requested from Mary Hatcher, if I believe, Tannen, on YouTube. So thank you, I guess, to Mary.
No, I'd say thank you very much to Mary. It was a good choice.
There you have it. Mario 2,
I,
Tannen. Where are we at with this?
I loved this game growing up. And, you know, I had the original Mario, and I remember the first Nintendo Power I ever got was Mario 2. And we didn't own it, and I saw it. Also, that was in that issue was Zelda.
Nintendo Power, if I believe.
Well, another one that was in that was the complete map for Zelda and all this stuff. And my dad was like, "Oh, good, we're getting a subscription." And
Did he sound like Randy
really
Savage?
oh yeah. And yeah, my dad kind of sounded like that to me, you know, when I was 4. And but I really wanted Mario 2 really bad. And then I got it, and I loved it. I loved the idea of being able to, like, pull stuff up from the ground and throw it upon my enemies as I, like, rained through these levels. And I found it to be easier than the original Mario as a kid. I love the game. I love the option of being able to pick your different characters with different abilities. And just being able to do that. And I played it over and over again to figure out what worked best for, you know, whichever level. Travis, I understand you hate the ice level, and you call me a cheater for using Peach as a, which back then, by the way, she was Princess Toadstool.
I'm not.
And,
I don't really know if I necessarily.
her,
Let me take back. Did I call you a cheater? Is that documented?
You called me a cheater for saying I always used Princess Toadstool for the ice
I don't know
levels.
if it's cheating. More so, it's taking the high road. Like.
Well, of course it is. You're given the option. Why wouldn't you?
You are. I know. I'm just saying.
So like, it's just like during the sand levels. Like, Toad is the best one for those.
But it's not Super Peach Brothers. It's, I don't know, silly argument.
It's no. It's just Super Mario Brothers 2, and you can do whatever the hell you want to do and pick the characters that best reflect those levels. And then at the end of the day, you can beat the boss, which is Wart, with whatever character you want.
Well, let's get. We don't know. Well, for what? Let's put the brakes on real quick, Tannen. We don't know if all the listeners have played this game. A little backstory, because you got to know the backstory in this game. This was not a Mario game originally. This was a Japanese. It was based off what, Brian, like a festival they have in Japan, the Doki Doki Festival or something. If I'm right, I don't remember.
Yes.
What was the backstory on this game, Brian? Because I know you got it on lockdown. The whole info on it.
Well, originally in Japan, as you know, it was called Doki Doki Panic, and that was, as you said, based off of the. There's a Japanese festival that happens, I believe, in the fall, and that's why you see a lot of like the Shy Guys and stuff with like the ghosts masks and stuff like that, because that goes into like a lot of the culture of you know, like scaring ghosts off and stuff. So that's why like a lot of the Shy Guys came around. Like they came around because of like, if you've seen any type of anime, like you see like those evil spirits and they have like those crazy masks on.
Yeah.
So they made them cute, but they're also made off of like something that a lot of people in Japanese culture would find genuinely kind of like horrifying.
Yeah. Yeah, and the characters from Doki Doki Panic, Mama was Mario. Oh, no, Luigi. And Papa was Mario, if I'm correct. But anyway, the characters from the Japanese Doki Doki Panic were like the mascots for this festival. So that's what... I think they had a cartoon series or a manga run. Anyway, that's the backstory on it. And it was ported over here in the States. The original Mario Brothers 2 was considered too hard for American gamers, Tannen. And that's why this game of all games was selected to be the new Mario. A great change that was made for the US port was that you can actually run in this version. You couldn't run in Doki Doki Panic, which to not have a run feature in like any fucking side-scrolling action platformer sucks for the most part, unless it's like a Castlevania where you rely on weapons and stuff more. But anyway, let me clear my name before we get more in depth, Tannen, and you can did you beat it this week before we carry on?
Damn right I did.
Oh, look at you with your Big boy pants. Anyway, I
And
don't.
that's the original version too. And by the way, too, I know the E word. I know everybody hates the E word, but like I was working and stuff. So guess what? I beat it on a new platform, my fucking phone. Oh,
That's ugly. That's bowling shoe ugly. Like
it's bowling shoe ugly. Like I was like kind of pissed as I was playing it, but I got used to the controls. Another game that I beat also on my phone was Turtles in Time, which is like an awesome feat for me.
that's just you just see someone playing Turtles, any beat them up on their phone. They're just repeatedly tapping their fucking touchscreen.
Actually, the emulator that I have runs really well.
Well, I guess I, in a way, use the E word. I played this. Shout out once again. I still have this on my Wii Virtual Console. I had to bust out the Wii, dust it off to play this because I wanted to do it a little more legit than just an E.
Yeah, I mean, I could have done.
I don't actually. I know Brian has this all day long. I know Brian has this game.
Yeah, well, no, I have it too. I have an NES with it. I have 3 copies of it. Shit.
What are you doing, man? You have access. No excuse.
Yeah, let me like haul my fucking old ass TV and my fucking NES over to work.
Oh yeah.
Like, hey,
do you work 24 hours a day? Do you come home eventually?
I work 12 hours a day.
I'm not trying to give a shit. But hey, you still took the time to do the bowling shoe ugly route, and you beat it on your fucking phone. So shout out to you if you legit beat it on your phone.
I mean, I did use the warp zones that I knew about and everything. But here's my point with it. I'll never forget like playing the game. Spoiler alert to those who haven't played it. The fact that it even tells you in the intro that Mario falls asleep. But at the end, you're like, oh shit, he really was dreaming.
At the end, at the ending of the game, you get like an end screen where Mario's sleeping with like a pajama cap and a pajama shirt.
You get to see the cast of characters. And one thing about beating old games is I love to see the cast of characters. That was one of my favorite things ever, was the cast of characters.
Link to the Past did that phenomenally in that era.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Oh, yeah.
That is cool Super Mario 2, though, how it tells all the names and stuff of the characters at the end.
Yeah. It's just, Mario goes back to sleep. And it was like, but I'll never forget being a kid, like, oh shit, like, he didn't really do this?
When you were a kid, you literally went, oh shit.
But yeah, it did. I mean, I probably said that out loud, like, underneath my breath, because my mom would have hit me in the mouth for saying shit.
When men were men.
But also, like, I mean, I had all these Mario books about, like, how, like, he started out in Brooklyn and then ended up in like, the Toadstool thing. I had, like, these audio books. It was a record, actually, that you could put on a record player and it would tell you the story. It wasn't even a cassette. It was a fucking record. And so like, and my little kid had, like, I thought I went through this epic journey climbing fucking, beanstalks and fucking doing all this shit. To at the end, it was still all a dream, the entire thing.
It was.
And at the same time, then Mario dreamed that he was Princess Peach wearing a dress and shit, floating around. So, like, I don't know what's up with your psyche there, Mario.
Patrick
well, not only that, but why was he dreaming of Birdo?
Yeah, right.
Birdo is the
cross-dressing fucking dinosaur.
Yes, I was going to say the first officially announced transgender character in gaming, and then
why was he
by the
dreaming
final
about transvestites?
Yeah. Transvestite dinosaurs at that, because I guess she's technically a dinosaur.
I guess if you beat the game a second time, it's really Toad that looks like a Birdo, then that explains everything.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, like I said, Tannen, I don't hate this game. I get really bad at this Mario game. It is the slipperiest feeling Mario to me. Something for it when I play it feels off on the later levels. I don't know.
It is true. The jumps are definitely a little slippery.
They are. They totally are. And like, I don't know. I really have problems with this one, but I don't hate it. I have beaten it. It's a good game. I do recommend it. It's a must-play Nintendo game because so many characters, even though they came from the Doki Doki world or whatever, have been staples in the Mario universe up until Mario Kart. Birdo, Shy Guys. Shy Guys are fucking awesome, and I'm glad Shy Guys exist. So I'm glad.
Also, you can lose your characters. You can lose them. You can't go back. You know, like, fuck, you lost a character, go fuck yourself. You gotta
And
deal with
I
this
would
one
say,
now.
I would say they made the right move because it was mind blowing. I was like 4 or 5 when I first played, and this was one of the first games I ever remember getting anxiety from as a kid. Just like those masks that chase you when you get the key. Fuck, I hate
Oh,
those
dude,
things.
yeah.
I hate those fucking things. One of my most dreaded enemies ever in a game are those, by far.
But
Brian,
you,
what's your
you
whole
could
take on
fly
Mario
a
2?
flying carpet.
What's your whole take on Mario 2 USA, Brian? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Are you eh?
Well, Mario 2 is probably always one of my favorite Mario games in the installment, just because of the graphics and the music and just the whole look of it. But when you play it past like the third level, especially like with like the ice world and stuff like that, it
Unfair.
really does show like it's I don't know. It is kind of awkward. You don't feel that pinpoint accuracy like you did in Mario 1. Like, even though a lot of the jumps were harder, like, you knew exactly 100% where you were going to land.
Yeah.
Like,
Pinpoint.
when you made a jump. I don't feel that confidence when I play it, you know, like on any type of level that needs that accuracy. I also don't like the fact that you can't really give your characters any power-ups like, you know, fireballs or anything like that. Like, you can choose between their different powers, but it would be nice to, like, you know, when you're in a certain level and there's nothing to throw. Yeah, like, you know, when you fight Birdo like on World 5, I'm actually playing this on Super Mario All-Stars on my Super Nintendo this week, ironically enough as it is.
Nice.
And, you know, it could be a pain in the ass when, like, you know, Birdo's only shooting fireballs at you, and you have, like, one little mushroom.
Oh, yeah, the fucking house-looking things.
Yeah,
Those
block
fucking heavy-ass house
Ooh.
block things. Oh, my God.
So I'm talking about, man. Like, you talk about having no confidence. I don't have any in this whole game unless I have a power block. That's the only time I have confidence in this game. But you're right about the fireball stuff.
Really? Yeah, the PAL blocks, I really rarely ever use them. I just try to find every hidden subspace door for the mushrooms, but I don't like that your health doesn't carry over from like World 1-1 to 1-2.
Oh, yeah, you're back with 2 hearts.
That's lame.
Like,
Yeah,
that's a bitch.
At the end of each level, once you beat like the Birdo or whoever the heck it is, and you rack up your coins, you can only carry a maximum of 10 coins. And then you could possibly, it's not very likely, you'll usually at least get 1 extra life, but you could go through a whole run where you get like no extra lives. And so coins don't really mean anything in the game. And then at least with like Mario 3 or even in Mario 1, you collect 100 coins, you get an extra life. You find an extra life. Like, you do find the 1-up shrooms every once in a while in the game, but they're not really common. And then, like, you know, you barely have a chance to get any 1-ups at the end of each level. So, like with Mario 3, you know, you run at your full P speed, hit the thing, you know you're getting a star every time. You know, with this, you could have collected 10 coins and the game could be like, hey, fuck you, you didn't get any extra lives. And, like, that makes it really aggravating and frustrating. I mean, overall, I think it's a good game, but the boss I'm having some difficulty now with, just because I work a lot, so a lot of times I'm more of a casual gamer in my free time. But the crab boss at the end of 5-3, he is a fucking pain in the ass. And that's even with 4 hearts, because he's like winging those rocks at you, and you have to try to like jump and then throw them, you know.
Yes.
Before like they roll off. And I've tried using Peach, but she lifts too slow. And then I've tried using Toad, but he doesn't float, so it kind of makes grabbing the rocks
he picks up
difficult
items
to begin
fastest. Yeah, they all have their different strengths and whatever.
I was about to say, Toad's actually my best strategy with him.
Yeah.
You just have to, like, I don't know, you panic. It's the best way to play it. Panic and pray to God. That's the 2 things you can do.
See, I got, like, up until Tannen mentioned last week, and I just remember this sticking out, that you have a problem with the desert world. I'm pretty smooth sailing in this game up until the ice world, and then when it just goes to shit for me is when you're platforming on the flying Shy Guys or whatever they're called. That is a fucking bitch for me, and that is throw my controller level mode, and then I'm just done. Like, I don't want to get
Oh,
angry.
those little bee guys that like fly across with the pitchforks.
Yeah, whatever they're called. Those fucking things can suck it because I don't like them.
Like, you mean where you have to jump off of them, or where you have to like?
The whole stage is essentially you're platforming on them to get to the end. There's no ground at all. It's I hate it so much. I do. I can't stress my hate for that fucking part enough. That's one of the most hated parts of any game for me. But my opinion, I've said it time and time again, this is the hardest Mario game. Brian, do you think for you this is the hardest Mario game?
Nah. Lost Levels is still, yeah.
I got to put them neck and neck, but for me, just like that's pinpoint, spot on accuracy you're talking about, that's lacking in this. This is why it's the hardest for me. Tannen, scale of 1 to 10. I know you love this game. I like the game too. We all do. But what do you give it, and do you recommend
it? These days, I would give it a definite good solid 9. It still captures my attention. It still keeps me there. It's just, it is what it is, man. I consider the first Mario Brothers harder than this one, way harder. And Lost Levels is a whole different story.
I think because the first one's more ingrained in my mind as far as level design, it's not that much of a bitch for me.
I mean, I'd even call Mario 3 harder than this one.
Nah.
So, yeah, I just would. I mean, dude, have I beaten Mario 3? Many a time. Do I love Mario 3? Damn right I do.
Without the whistle, though.
But
is where people fall out of the, I did it. If you beat Mario 3 without the whistle, you deserve the praise. And I know we all have here on the show. That is just in your DNA, Mario 3 type game. But, Brian, what do you give this game on any ranking system, 1 out of 10, whatever? Do you recommend this game?
Yeah, Mario 2, I'd totally recommend it. I mean, whether you like it or whether you hate it, it's something that if you play Nintendo stuff, if you consider yourself a gamer, if you like Mario, or if you're just getting into the, whole retro gaming scene, you definitely got to check it out and at least, understand, like the quote-unquote Mario title that almost never was, in America, and like what we would have gotten, instead of that. To give Mario 2 a rating, I would probably put it somewhere between, I'd say at least an 8 to an 8.5.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I'd give it a solid 8. An 8 for me as well.
See, as I said, I got feelings with this game, so that's why I give it a 9.
And the only reason I would lean more towards the 8.5 on the higher end is because of, like I said before, the whole creativity, the color, the music. Like, I had probably the most fun playing this game growing up as a kid, even with Mario 3, because, like, I think anybody who played it, if you played it as a kid, you remember, like, dropping down from that door, and, like, there's that goofy music, and it just looks like you remember Mario 1.
Yeah.
And Mario 1 was fun, but Mario 1 and Mario 2, it's the difference between, looking at, like, a black and white TV to going over to your friend's house that has a color TV with cable. And, like, that's the difference. It's like, wow! Like, Mario 1 was good, but holy crap, like, things are round in this game.
And, that... it's awesome you brought it up about the music, because we've totally forgot to mention that, so thank you, Brian. The music is some of the best ever in a Mario game, in my opinion. The character select screen was like my ringtone for a solid year at one point. But seriously, I think it's one of the most overlooked Mario OSTs as far as music, and it's just so classic and so many feels when you hear the music in this game, for me, and I'm sure you guys.
Definitely.
That's Mario 2. Thank you again, Mary Hatcher. Guys, listen to the show. If you got a game, if you want to torture us, if you just want to give us good feels, hit it down below in the comments on Twitter at TheHibickyTMD for Game of the Week, or at OTannensBum. Hell, make Brian play a game for his channel if you want. But guys, Brian, do you have a Game of the Week you'd like us to play for our first ever, I would say, milestone episode next week? Number 10, Tannen, is next week, by the way. We failed to...
oh my god.
It's been 10 already.
10 already. Holy shit.
Reset button X. Brian, do you want to throw a game at us for next week, and we'll totally play it?
Well, if I did, I don't think you'd like my choice very much.
For the 10th one, bring it.
How about you?
It.
Well, I know Travis definitely won't like it, but I will bring up the Castlevania Adventure for Game Boy.
Oh, you bastard! Well, you know that game.
Yeah, wow. I think you really dug deep on that one. There.
I'm gonna save it. I got a lot to say already. I've actually reviewed that game, but still, I'll still play it for you. It'll take me forever because of the pace of the fucking game is like this. But it's something. It's Castlevania. All right, cool, Brian. Thank you, man. And as always, thank you so much.
A lot of people give credit for.
Really? You're a big defender of that game, eh? The
Bigger
first
than
one.
most.
The first one.
I think with Belmont's Revenge, like the second one, what a lot of people don't realize is that it's really only a tiny bit better than Castlevania Adventure. And once you get adjusted to the jumping,
no, it's sped up.
It's not a bad game.
It's sped up more than the first one. The biggest drawback to the first one is
I'm looking forward to this.
The second one still sucks too. It just sucks a little bit less.
I don't think it sucks. I think that's the best one. I think that should have been the true sequel for the NES one, the first one, instead of Castlevania 2. I don't know if you're a fan of Castlevania 2. We bashed the shit out of that game on this show. Are you a fan of Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest, Brian?
I'm a fan of every Castlevania game except for well, there's a
Judgment.
Well, now, not all the ones on N64 were bad. There was that I had both of them, but I can't remember the names of them. Yeah, the Castlevania 64, which was crap. Then you had
Legacy
that
of Darkness and just
Castlevania. Yeah. That one was actually pretty decent.
Ugh.
Did you play the PS one, the network one at all?
Maybe for a very little bit. I remember it.
You get up to 4 players on a map. That one's great if you have people to play with. It's terrible if you're just playing by yourself.
What's the name of that called? It's like a newer online only type thing where it's best played.
Yeah, but it's actually a really good game. Like at the heart of it.
Well, I just dropped a video today. I've been trudging through fucking probably the hardest Castlevania game, Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse on NES. So part 3 dropped today for everyone listening. Check that out. Brian, what do you think, real quick, before we call it a night, is your all-time favorite Castlevania game? Because I don't know. As long as I've known you, I don't know, and I'm curious.
My all-time favorite, I'd probably have to say Super Castlevania. Castlevania 4.
Can't argue with that choice at all. I mean, come on. But there, Brian, it's been an absolute pleasure.
That one was the best one.
It has been an absolute pleasure, my man, to have you on. You're welcome back anytime. Once again, where can everyone follow you on Twitter, on Facebook, all that good shit, your channel, what you're all about, Brian? Have at you. What is a man?
Well, on Twitter, just either look me up by at King of Retro or 8Byte Brian. My actual tag on there is still at King of Retro, but probably easier to find me by 8Byte Brian these days. On Facebook, you can find the King of Retro homepage, and on YouTube, search 8Byte Brian, and I should pop up.
And since you want to throw a request on me, my man, I have a request for you. I loved Silverhawks as a kid, and I don't feel like they get talked about enough. I don't know if you've ever done anything Silverhawks related, but I would love to see a video of it on your channel one day.
Definitely. I've got a pretty decent amount of Silverhawks stuff, and I've actually met a few of the guys at a couple of cons, RetroCon last year, that did the voices for the cartoon. So yeah, I probably have a story or two to go along with a review like that. So yeah, I can definitely see that in the near future.
Hell yeah. Looking forward to it, man. Once again, thank you. Tannen, my man. You know what? I say we play some Skullgirls tonight after the show. Fuck it. You down? Are you there?
Hell yeah.
There, he's there.
Yeah, no, I'm here. I'm sorry. Like, I was actually can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good.
Okay. Yeah, I was decent enough to mute my mic so that my stupid Shih Tzu wasn't barking over the conversation, and I had to take her out to piss. So I muted my mic, but I was still here and heard the whole thing.
Cool. You remember the Silverhawks, Tannen?
Huh?
Do you remember the Silverhawks? The cartoon?
And no, I don't
Oh.
actually. Man, and as I was listening to that too, I was like, Silverhawks. Did I have? Holly might have had some toys for that one. I
Came
might,
on
but I
right before
didn't.
the Silver Spoons.
Huh?
Came on right before the Silver Spoons.
Oh man. So was that after
Right
the
after
Silver
Square
Forks then?
Pegs.
Yeah.
Well, it's been episode 9, Tannen. As always, my friend, it's about time to hit that reset button.
It is. Brian, thanks for being here, by the way. As Travis said, you're welcome back anytime. This was great. Very much enjoyed it. Yep.
No problem at all. Thank you guys for having me on. Totally enjoyed it.
Get your asses over there. Hit that subscribe button on Brian's channel. Hit it on ours. Hit the like button. Follow us on Twitter. Check us out on Facebook. Until next time, let's hit the reset button.
Reset button.
Hey guys, Travis here from Hibiki TMD, reminding you as always to follow me on Twitter at the Hibiki TMD. Check out the Reset Button podcast with myself and Tannen, Hibiki Quickie, Hibiki History, Retrospectives, everything in between, retro gaming, and pro wrestling, not to mention my other podcast with the man himself, Michael.
Hey, you dirty fucking pigs. This is Mike from the Slam Pigs Podcast reminding you to check us out on Twitter at the Slam Pigs Podcast, or check me out on Twitter at Mike the Slam Pig. Or Travis, where can they find that other show?
They can find everything in between right here on Hibiki TMD.